to MenoQuirks, the podcast that says menopause isn't a crisis, it's a comedy. We're talking honest conversation, cold truths, and all the unexpected quirks that come with the midlife plot twist. Hosted by Nat and Sal, we're here to swap stories,
share laughs, and say the things no one warned us about. Well, probably should have. This is your safe-ish space to giggle, groan, and maybe learn a thing or two along the way. So grab your fan, your favourite snack, and let's get into the glorious weirdness of the menopause. Together!
It's our last episode of the summer in the Bell Tent. It is raining now. We had a really dry summer and it is raining now. So the soundscape is of cat purring at the moment.
Yeah.
And
it's
maybe some rain, obviously the planes. It's our last Bell Tent session of 2025.
I'm going to miss it.
We are going to miss it. I'm really going to miss it. It's such a beautiful space.
It is. It's
really today
lovely.
We're going to welcome Aline from Menopause
Knowledge. Yes.
And she's set up a not-for-profit organisation that spreads knowledge, and that's what we're trying to do in our own little way.
Yeah,
not
expert knowledge.
But she's got the expert knowledge.
Yeah.
We've got the stumbling around in the dark trying to find things out as we go along.
The guests that we have on are always they're important because they're experts, but they're also very passionate about what they do, and we believe in what their ethos. We believe in how they think. We're not just bringing anybody on because they talk menopause. It's something we feel that you benefit from too.
Yeah, and we've heard her talk before, and seen her before, and we both think that she has such amazing little gems of information.
She really
We
does.
really want to share those with you.
Yeah.
So,
over to Aline.
Hello.
Hello,
Natalie. Hello, Sally.
hello.
Yes.
So it's lovely to have you because we met you on one of the talks that you do.
Yes.
And it was a morning, and we learned all about the menopause, but also with different businesses, and we went off into breakout rooms, and we really explored. Tell us a little bit about your business, your CIC, sorry.
Yes, well, it is a business.
It is a business,
Any
yes.
type of not-for-profit organisation, whether it's a charity, a CIC, community group, it's still a business because we all tend to have some funds and money that we use, so it's a business.
It is.
So now Menopause Knowledge, we launched that in 2020 during the pandemic, and it was primarily as a response to friends struggling to get hold of their GPs. Obviously, we're in a pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay. And not knowing how to get support. And because I'd had my own challenge, my numerous challenges with perimenopause, I'm self-diagnosed after 10 years of misdiagnosis, I'd managed to get some support. And my friends were asking, well, how did you do it? And that's where the idea came from, to put stuff together. And it seemed logical with a bit of understanding I had of how complex charities are to manage, and this fairly new CIC type of approach to go for a CIC model, to have flexibility and be in control of what we're doing, as opposed to having trustees deciding for us.
Yeah, which is a really good idea.
Can you tell us about your journey where you said you didn't have, you couldn't find any help for those first 10
How long
years?
have you got? 10 years is a long time.
Do this over a few episodes.
And it's quite interesting actually, because every time we talk about what was your journey, I change my story.
Please, can you tell us a bit about your menopause story from when you suspected that you started and how you got help in the end?
Okay. So what's quite interesting is every time I talk about it, it seems to change because I remember various bits and pieces. But I think it started at my very early 40s, so 39 to 41, something like that. At the time, I had no idea that the things I was experiencing had anything to do with menopause. Yeah. And obviously, as the three of us know symptoms of menopause, of peri and postmenopause, they change. They're not always the same. So sometimes you have a few, sometimes they disappear, and other things happen. The underlying one for me was not sleeping well, which turned into a hormonal insomnia after 10 years, give or take. And I mean, I didn't have a clue. I just kept going more and more to see my GP about flooding, about pains, about not sleeping. So obviously, as soon as you talk about not sleeping, you're labelled depressive.
So what did they say? What
Oh, well,
was
you're
the
not very
beginning?
well. Oh, we will give you some antidepressants.
So you're depressed.
You're depressed, yes.
Yeah.
That's very common,
Yes,
isn't
it's in
it?
your head. And but I'm not depressed.
No.
And yes, there were things happening family-wise and, and personally. But those stressors, I'm really convinced that I coped well with normal life stressors, which can be quite extreme.
Yes.
It's the hormonal changes that made it harder for me to act and behave and think the way I used to think before perimenopause started. And because I didn't have a clue, I also couldn't go, oh, well, that's okay. I'm in perimenopause, so my body's changing, my brain is changing. I need to adjust to that and take that in my stride when I have various stressors. So from having a very holistic approach to life, using aromatherapy, using acupuncture, using menopause brain, it's hard.
Oh, we get this regularly.
Oh my goodness. Homeopathy, all of that, I started taking more and more medications for various things. And nobody in my GP surgery, no one, and the specialists I saw for the conditions I was labelled with, no one mentioned menopause.
So did you shop around your GPs?
So it was in the
see
same
different-
practice.
Yeah, but see different ones.
I saw different ones because it was difficult to see the same one. And the one I was mainly seeing also didn't cotton on. And also, when you need to go and see someone a bit as an emergency, you just take whatever appointment
Of course,
you
you
have.
don't get a choice. No.
And I saw a specialist for... the best one was scabies. So that was towards the end of the 10 years when my estrogen levels were so low that I got really, really itchy skin, which is quite a typical, so erratic behaviour of estrogen.
Low estrogen.
It says cool, exactly. It says cool on your mug, so it's completely fine. And that guy, so I couldn't sleep because it was so itchy. I would wake up and have scratched to blood everywhere, from the vaginal vulva area to hair.
And that's
to
very
breasts.
depressing.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I would go into cold bath to cool everything down. Then I would use a fan to have just to try various creams and thinking, is it my washing powder? And I was using a herbalist at the time when she never cottoned on. It was menopause, which really, with hindsight, really surprises me.
Yes.
That was quite a typical age. So off I, sent to see a skin specialist. And the guy was just convinced I had scabies. And I was, I've looked, I've asked Mr. and Mrs. Google. I've looked at all the pictures. I don't have any signs of scabies on my body. And I don't really live in that kind of environment. Like, no, it's scabies.
And isn't there a test that they can do?
Not
for
really. No,
scabies,
normally
no?
the diagnosis is based on you
What they
can
look-
see what's
right.
happening to your nails, your skin, and often you're in an environment that's got that level of dirt and challenges and and so he gave me these creams and stuff. I went away and came back and said it doesn't work, and he's like, you're not using the cream for long enough.
Of course not. It must be you.
Give it more of a go.
And I'm thinking, are you next going to tell me I need to clean my house better?
Oh.
So in my little head, I was thinking I must be catching it from somewhere. And I was thinking of all my friends and thinking, who's got a filthy house like this? And I found one. I thought, it's him. His house is always dirty.
Pointing at people.
I'm never going back to your house.
You gave me scabies.
You're giving me scabies. It has nothing to do with the poor guy, And that calmed down.
Yeah.
Once I stabilised, I started using HRT in a different way. But I think what was so frustrating with that scabies episode is how dismissed everything was and the level of medication I was given.
Yeah.
The level of medication to sleep. It was dangerous and ridiculous, especially as I was self-medicating to sleep, which I was not sharing with anyone.
No.
And one day I took, that would have been just before I derailed in 2018, I was in the September time telling my brother, So I'm using this and I'm using that and I'm using that. So there's melatonin, medicine from the US. Because I was working abroad quite a lot, and I would ask my colleagues, or I would pick some, you can buy anything over there.
Yeah.
Taking higher and higher doses, using flu, night owl type of stuff.
Yeah.
Going around various pharmacies so nobody would know that I kept using those to try and sleep.
Yeah.
And even though you sleep with this kind of medication, it's not a good sleep.
No,
so it
it's not
doesn't
proper
really
sleep,
help.
And
is
your
it?
quality of wake is...
Is also impaired. Yes, yes.
Which impacts on other things.
On everything else, yes. So to go back to your point, so I saw a number of GPs and I saw a number of specialists for bones problems as well, because my articulations were pain. He told me, what did he say? He said, you see, a lot of them were guys, you've got restless leg syndromes. And I'm, okay, so that would be for the pains in the legs. But I have the same pains in my arms and my collarbones and all on my shoulders. Oh, well, maybe that's not that then. Okay. I ended up in A&E for heart palpitations because I'd built up over a period of about a year and a half. And I became actually probably overly sensitive to an irregular heartbeat, which wasn't a thing. I think I was just hypersensitive because I was so worried. And I'd prepared a little emergency bag because it was waking me up.
Yeah.
Like this during the night, and it started happening during the day. Yeah, so I started waking up with these sort of palpitations like this. Really scary when you live alone. And you think, who's gonna, what can I do?
Yeah.
And then they started happening during the day. And it happened once in France when I was working in Toulouse. And I thought, if it happens again, I'm going to take myself to A&E because this is not normal. And all I kept being told is, you did share that. You're told it's in your life. You need to look at your stress levels, and you're just stressed, and it's in your head.
Yes. You're hysterical.
Yeah, well, the womb, the wandering womb. The wandering womb.
The womb's wonder.
Got a mind of its own.
It's travelling inside the body, yes. And so I took myself to A&E for that one. And I'd phoned some friends first to say, if you don't know where I am, I'm off to A&E with my little bag. And they did what's it?
ECG.
ECG, yes. Yeah. And they said, yes, you've got an irregular heartbeat, so we'd like you to go back home and make an appointment with your GP, and then he will be able to refer you to the... And so you come home and you're thinking, oh my God.
Yeah, and then you can hear it.
Which is even worse because then I really got... So that's... I must say my GP, my main GP from that surgery was really good in that instance. When I saw him, he said, yes, okay, I've got the test results from over there. I think you've become hypersensitive to your heartbeat because we all have a slightly irregular heartbeat.
Yeah.
So what I suggest is that we do one here in the surgery. We'll let you calm down and we'll take it from there. And there was absolutely no problem when he did that. So that was a huge relief.
I was going to say, that must have made you feel so much better.
It didn't take away what was happening every so often. And at the same time, it did help me manage it better and therefore just go with the flow, which was extremely heavy at the time. That's a different story. For a while. And again, that's a symptom that also went away. A lot of the symptoms I've experienced in that 10-year period are linked to the ups and downs of estrogen. The fact that the progesterone is reducing. Progesterone is a great sleep inducer. So you start taking away with progesterone. It doesn't help. And life was stressful as well. So there's a combination of a lot of things.
Yes.
So with the stability of hitting post-menopause, those perimenopausal symptoms went away. So here I am with, the list is immense. From the brain fog to the irritability, the anger.
Oh, yes. Yeah, from nowhere. It just comes. It's like something slapped you in the face and all of a sudden you're angry about it. Yeah.
But I think it's the bottle of pop analogy again, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not come from nowhere, it's come from all those micro things that happen that as women we just tolerate.
Yeah, so perhaps it feels like it comes from nowhere, should I say, and then it just builds.
Surprises us when the lid comes off.
Yes,
well, I think
everyone.
We actually have the two. We have the things that the pop bottle, whatever you've just said, menopausal brain again, and we accept and we accept, and the pressure levels are much lower than they used to be. And we also have genuinely the anger that comes from nowhere, where you have a little voice saying, why the fuck am I reacting like this? This does not merit this reaction.
Yes.
And it's uncontrollable.
Yes.
And it's scary for people around you. Scary for yourself. But I mean, the funniest episode with that one, with my daughter, when Eloise listens to that, she'll probably burst into laughing as well. She was a teenager, so obviously her hormones, my hormones, that's perfect storm.
Yes, clash. That's what we have.
Perfect storm. No men around, which helps. And she, whatever had happened, we'd had an argument, and I was so angry. I picked up a huge jar of mustard, a proper French big jar of mustard, and I threw it on the floor in the kitchen, broke a tile, mustard everywhere, with friends about to come half an hour later for a barbecue.
No mustard then.
No mustard.
I took the mustard.
And I'm thinking, you stupid cow, it's your own fault. Why did you throw the jar on the floor?
What was her reaction?
She was upstairs and could probably hear me swear a lot, for I was manically trying to clean the whole room. But can you imagine mustard splattering everywhere?
Yeah.
Okay, and that broken tile was broken until the day I sold the house.
Yeah.
And every time would remind me.
Yeah.
I also had those kind of angers driving and talking to someone and getting really irritated and driving quite erratically, taking chances because I'm angry and I'm shouting.
Yeah.
And again, that little voice, why are you reacting like this? This is not you. Why can't you control this? And that's very frustrating because you genuinely wonder, or so I did anyway, am I going mad?
Yeah.
And then when you start adding the layers of the brain fog and not managing to work the way I used to, so a lot of Excel spreadsheet stuff, we're working with teams, getting irritable, looking at work and thinking, I have no idea what this is saying.
Yeah.
I can't make sense of what I'm reading.
So,
So that's that driving element and the work element and adding onto that layer of that feeling so much rage, driving and being angry at a conversation I'm having as opposed to the traffic itself, and driving erratically onto a motorway just from a junction and thinking afterwards, I could have died. I could have died. I arrived far too fast. I was so lucky. People saw me and reacting better than me. All this because I was angry at someone. And that layer on top of it of not understanding my work anymore, feeling I wasn't performing, I was letting down my team and the staff working for me. I wasn't operating well in the workplace I was in. Is it dementia? Have I got some kind of mental health condition?
is it something more serious?
Is
than
it something more serious? But more serious than what?
Exactly.
Because menopause was not on my radar.
Yeah.
So and way more. You know, the flooding. Oh my goodness, the flooding, ladies. Traveling to the US for work. 10 hours flight. Flooding.
Ooh.
Sitting down for 2-3 hours thinking, I'm really going to have to go and change. But I'm going to have to climb over the guy next to me and the woman next to him. And what if it goes everywhere? That's not fun. And you're told, well, you just have to put up with it. You just have to put up with it. Or try this
horrible.
medication. Try that.
Yeah.
No.
And to be fair, again, to the GPs I was supported by, eventually I accepted to use a Mirena coil. I was very reluctant because my brain was stuck with the metal copper coils from a long time ago, and a friend of mine, her mum ended up in hospital because it had lodged itself, it had been forgotten, infected, and I thought I really don't want this, and it feels more like an abortion every month as an approach, until someone explained to me what a Mirena coil is, which is a bit of plastic, tiny bit of hormone. You don't actually get pregnant. It's a fantastic approach to contraception for the women who want to use that. And it's amazing in terms of flooding. It does reduce that enormously. And when I did accept this, it made such a positive difference to my quality of life. So there I am. I've accepted this. Still get a lot of symptoms, greatly because, I mentioned sleep. synthetic progestins from a Mirena coil are great for many things. However, it's not body identical, so it doesn't give you that sleep inducer and that mood tampering element, which is what progesterone helps us with.
All right, at the moment. We've gone
We always go off piece.
We've got completely off piece, and now we're talking about Bravissimo and this beautiful bra that I'm wearing.
Yes.
My sports bra, which is my go-to bra.
I love a sports
Incredible.
bra anyway.
Yes. They're really good, really
And you know,
supportive.
there isn't enough for us ladies who have large boobs, because
not enough.
try and get a shirt,
Yeah.
try and get a dress.
Yes.
If it's
Can't
got
get
buttons, it
anything.
just
Yeah.
burst open, or you look like a mammoth.
Oh, yeah. Because it doesn't
Get it
fit
big
certain
enough.
areas. Yeah, you're like a tent. You're like you're wearing a tent. Not fair. It isn't. And then you look at the sizes they give you on all the major fashion brands, and they go even like extra large or large is like would be, you know, like a 10? No, not a 10. A 14
12 or-
is large, and you're like, it's not. Is that
because-
large?
then you've got nowhere to go.
You've got nowhere to go
when you're big enough.
absolutely.
And the other thing is a nice bra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When your boobs hurt, because you still get
Yeah.
the times
Yeah.
where
Yes, the
breast
tender.
tenderness.
Yeah,
Especially
I
in
still get that.
Thing.
So
It
in
is a thing.
perimenopause,
Yeah.
some women
You need
think
some
maybe I'm
nice
pregnant.
Scaffolding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
The
suddenly they
tender.
have
Similar
boob
thing.
tenderness,
Mine
and
still
that's
get
when you have
tender. Yeah, they do.
when you
And
have
it-
too much estrogen.
Yeah.
That's normal. It's when you're
Right.
pregnant and when you first have your baby, you have a lot of that estrogen that is good for you,
Yeah.
and it makes your boobs hurt. And that's gone away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Not the boobs. No, not the boobs.
Not the boobs haven't gone away.
32 double H, darling. 32 double H. And it's all mine. Would you like a bit?
Shared around fair share.
So where were we? So here I am, yes, with my work challenges, my brain challenges. Oh, and we were talking about flooding. So this Mirena coil was really helpful. It meant that at least I was no longer rushing everywhere, worrying that I would sit down and get up in a work environment in front of my peers and there would be a lot of blood on the chair. So that really, really helped me as part of how I got to where I was at. So one day, I'm at the GP and why did I come for? I can't remember what was going on. Oh, he again wanted to give me antidepressants. And all the pains. And that's when he said restless leg syndrome.
Yeah.
And agreed I didn't need to see yet another specialist because probably it wasn't that because of my collarbone hurting as well. And he looks at my notes and he says, you're on the Mirena coil. Well, considering your age, you probably need this. And he prescribes a pill. And me, I mean, compared to now, I'd never looked really much into women's health. And I just thought I'd just take that pill. And that was actually estrogen for menopause, but the estrogen from last century. So not body identical, never discussed any risks with me.
They didn't tell you what it was?
He
Just
didn't
gave you
tell
the-
me. I thought it was a contraception pill.
Yeah, this has certainly sounded that way.
What I didn't realize is my contraception was taken care of with the Mirena coil. So he was, in
Not enough
effect,
information.
giving me HRT, which was really
Yes.
positive in itself.
Yes.
But he never discussed
But not
anything.
telling you. No.
It did not even cotton on until years later did they cotton on to that. But I've suffered from migraines for many decades, since I was 12, 10.
Yeah.
Therefore, I should never be prescribed an oral version of HRT without a discussion, which would have been a really positive discussion because he should have said, okay, so you've had migraines, so usually oral types of HRT that is synthetic, we would recommend that you don't use that because of the risks of DVT. However, because you're using a progesterone that is not oral, you'll be completely fine. But I need to share that with you. Never did any of that. It's me. 2-3 years later. So we're getting to 2016, 17. We're starting to see a lot more online about menopause.
Yeah.
You have Diane Denzebrink, you have Louise Newson, you have a whole bunch of women who start talking about the topic. I educated myself on Twitter. So your question from half an hour ago, Twitter.
Right.
Symptoms, conversations from women. And
So this
joining
would be
the
about
dots.
10 years ago.
Yeah. No, that would have been, I've lived with my condition for 17 years. I'm 57. So that would have been around 2017, 2018. So yes, it is almost 8, 9 years. We're getting there, aren't we, with the 10 years? And so one day, so I start going to see my GP and say, I think you've put me on HRT, but you never discussed hormone replacement therapy with me. And I don't think it's helping me because I still have all these symptoms. Bearing in mind that by that stage, I'm close to disintegrating. I've lost a relationship. We're back together, but,
It's
lost
been
that
difficult.
relationship at the time.
How was work?
Work was horrendous. And I derailed, so I'll tell you about that in a minute. I was barely functioning on 3 to 5 hours sleep maximum for several years. There were enormous family stresses.
Yeah.
We're talking 2 suicide attempts in the family. We're talking losing, close friends, family members. No, to a large extent, normal stuff, and still quite heavy. My daughter has finished her studies. She's moved away, so there's that loss as well that you don't acknowledge systematically. And here I am saying to my GP, you never talked to me about that, and I want to try this. So I tried some patches. They loved my skin. They loved my skin everywhere apart from on my thigh. So it would travel anywhere on my body, and they loved my house as well. So I would find them at the bottom of the bed, in the kitchen, in the living room. I do wander around with very little on in my house. I live alone. But it's like, so one day I managed to find a way to get them to stick,
Right.
So here they are, get them to stick on my skin with various bits. Got an allergic reaction to them.
Oh, was that to the glue on the...
Yes, yes. So there you go. So that didn't work. So I went to the GP again and said, I want to try something else. Nothing really worked, and I anticipate there were a number of reasons. I was not well emotionally. I was exhausted. And we were never having the right type of conversation on levels compared to symptoms, or even a professional discussing the options with me.
Yeah.
Forget about lifestyle and the holistic approach. I was not in a place to do that.
No.
If anything, I looked fabulous because I'd stopped eating. So I lost 2 stones.
Gosh. Well,
I was barely sleeping.
yeah.
I was in a lot of pain. Everyone would say, "Oh, you look fantastic,"
Oh, yeah,
and I'm like,
that's
"Yeah,
it, isn't
I
it?
look fantastic."
But
thinking,
inside, no. Yeah.
I'm not.
No.
And fast forward a little bit, we are now in October, November time, 2018. I haven't accepted antidepressants by then. I have an episode at work where I completely lose the plot. I'm aggressive, difficult to talk with. I'm listening to myself talking in a meeting, thinking I make no fucking sense. No sense at all. What's coming out of my mouth means nothing. Walk back to my office, pack up everything, say to my team, I'm going, burst into tears, talking to my manager. Don't know when I'll come back. And that was the start of the end of my career in aerospace.
Yeah.
And my work environment did not understand the realities of menopause, no more than to some extent I did, even though, I'd been to a lot of discussions about menopause by then. I was better educated, but I wasn't in a position to support myself well.
Yeah.
No, you needed someone to actually pick that up at work and understand you, give you flexible hours, support you.
So I did that
really.
for myself.
Yeah.
By giving myself flexible hours, working from home.
Yeah.
And my GP was supportive, my GPs, in saying, yes, we recommend. And I'd started taking antidepressants, which didn't really help because I was feeling really with them. And I wasn't depressed per
You're not,
se.
No.
And so we get to, by then, at the time, I had very different income. So I reached out to Louise Newson's clinic, very different to now, and got some better support on what could I use. Was encouraged not to come off antidepressants because it would be too much of an upheaval with trying to balance things. I was starting to understand a lot more what I could do for myself in terms of movement. Actually fabulously working on CBT with Simona Stokes, who since then has developed a menopause-informed CBT approach. And how can I put that? Cognitive behavior therapy is really complex as an approach to support to talking therapy, because there's so many different types of CBTs. What was amazing for me was to have someone who asked me, so what are your values and what is your purpose?
Wow.
And I had no way to answer that. I burst into tears and said, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's a value? What's a purpose? And that was, I wouldn't say a trigger. However, it was a reckoning on, I need to decide what those are, because I'm no longer just a mother. Work is rather shitty. So what am I doing? What do I want?
Yeah, it's that fundamental question, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
And it was that. Yeah, it was exactly that. I don't know. And that's part of CBT, I think, is essential for a perimenopausal or postmenopausal woman to take stock and allow ourselves to, use your book, for example, your quirky menopause booklet, and really reflect on who am I, what motivates me, without judgment on whether it's right or wrong, because I discovered that my principles and values are potentially questionable for others, and that's who I am.
Yeah.
So here I am with a private support, which is helpful, with working when I can and still delivering, managing my teams and everything else, working from home. And at the end of the year, thinking next year I need to make some changes. That goes with work. I'm going to do whatever I'll do. I'll reflect over that. Start of the year, the response from work was to push me to go off sick completely.
Oh, yeah.
And to get rid of me.
Was that HR coming in and...
It was a strange one, actually, because when we reflected after the event, when I accepted redundancy, we found something HR and my manager had done and documented, which enabled everything to occur without it being considered it's because you were ill.
Right.
Which it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I don't have any angst on that. The only angst I have around my career is not to have been able to say goodbye properly to people I worked with for decades.
To close the door on it properly and move on to the next stage. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is quite unfair. And that
You feel
happens very
cheated.
often to men and women, loyalty in the work environment. It's to ourselves, first of all.
It really is.
Yes.
I agree with you totally on that.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, so I ended up at the start of 2019 with nothing to do. I don't do very well with nothing to do. That's not really me.
Left too much time to think as well?
No, it's just I like action, so put my house on the market.
Wow.
Started doing even more volunteering. I was volunteering already for a cancer research shop and decluttered the house, as you do when you put your house on the market. Sold the house.
Wow.
Quite quickly. Thought I was buying a house. That fell apart. So still sold the house, put my household in storage, moved into a house with 2 guys. Grand age of 51, okay. And this is a woman who doesn't take chances and risks.
This is a new chapter.
Balancing everything hormonally, starting to eat again, to find joy in myself as well.
That's good, yeah.
At that point, I'm signed off in terms of work, because...
But you've got the time to be able to...
Yes, which is really empowering, to really decide for myself. Very busy, because I don't eat very well with just sitting at home. This connections are important, and and everything started to go towards, after 5 months, we don't want you to come back. So that was all progressing in that way, and the trust was very much broken with that employer. And I then decided to buy a camper van. I still haven't got a house. No, I have a house by then. I know in a few months I'll have a house. So I'm only living for a few months with those guys. And then comes picking up of the camper van the day I'm made redundant. Come back home and have a bit of a bust-up with one of the guys who was a bit of a gym bunny. A bit testosterone fueled, Not very tall, but very muscular. And he's like in my face about the flipping beetroot juice in the fridge. And I'm thinking, I don't feel safe here anymore. And I'm like, why am I staying in this house? I have a camper van on the drive. So I moved into a camper van site with my car until I got my house. And that is a woman who doesn't take chances.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things with menopause.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you feel like a very different person, don't you?
It reevaluates who you are.
Yeah.
So going back to when you were saying, you don't know if you're going mad or your personality's changing, I find it really interesting to see, look, the correlation between your personality being just part of you and who you always are, and your body. How much of your personality is driven by what's chemically happening
Yes.
in your body. And that's quite frightening, because you know, as we know, you can't always control this.
No, we can't control it, but I'm going to go back to what I said at the start. Had I known what was happening, had I known that during perimenopause the brain is rewired, it changes as much as during puberty, then I'm losing myself. It's not that we're losing ourselves as much as we are changing. So during puberty, our children, when I was young, those teenage years, I changed enormously because my brain changed enormously. My personality changed, my aspiration changed. My brain impacted my aspirations. It's all interlinked. Had I known that this is what was going to happen during perimenopause, instead of reacting against it, I'm convinced I and other women were more equipped to say, what does that mean? What does it mean I'm going to want to do now? How is my brain going to rewire itself?
It's knowledge is power.
And that's one of the fundamentals of menopause knowledge. It's knowledge is power, and prevention is better than cure.
It is, and you often find, you're saying about puberty, you often find that you go through perimenopause when your children, if you have children, they're going through teenage years.
Yes.
Because I've gone through that,
Yes.
and we've got on so well before, and all of a sudden she's changed and I've changed, and we're like two brick walls, and
And we don't understand
and we don't
what we can do.
understand,
There's a
exactly.
book called The Knowledge by Dr. Nigatarif, which is the whole menstrual life of a woman from puberty through to menopause. That's a fantastic book to have when you have teenage daughters, to look at together.
Yes.
Because that's what's happening to you, and that's what's happening to me.
Yeah.
And then you can
talk about it.
You can talk about it.
Because you don't. This is the thing. We've got so many comments and reviews back from people saying, I wish I had this when I was going through perimenopause,
Yes.
because I had no one to talk to, nobody to break those sort of taboos,
Yes,
you're just old crone, you're getting, old. Come on, get over it. You're not getting old, you're just changing. That's it.
We're not old. I started my journey at 40-ish, give or take.
Yeah.
I wasn't old. I'm 57. I'm not old.
No, of course not.
And
a long way to go yet.
I definitely
you
hope
think
so.
so?
Yes. With my 32 double H. But that knowledge would have made such a difference. So when I'm talking about the power, to some extent, that we have during menopause, the hormonal change swaps, to some extent, the balance between estrogen and testosterone in the female body. We produce 3 times more testosterone than estrogen from our ovaries. That's quite a lot. Okay. When our ovaries come down, we still have testosterone, especially from our adrenal glands. Estrogen is nurturing. Testosterone is action-driven and more self-centered. The voice we get after perimenopause is a lot stronger and a lot more authentic, I think, for many of us, which is, I'm putting myself first, I'm putting who I am first, I'm putting my ideas and my opinions first. It's not a selfish element, it's a recognition of ourselves. Had I known that, that would also have been different. Instead of resisting changing career, I may have said, you know what, you can all fuck off, because I've had enough of doing this job where I'm attempting to positively influence an environment where the individual doesn't matter. I want to go and do something else. I'm choosing to go. Very different personal.
I'm feeling that this is a really important message for a lot of lot of women who we know and who we talk to and everyone out there.
Yeah. And resist the change. Resist, and I don't like especially the expression of the change, because it's much more than that.
It is.
But it is a brain change which is significant. And yes, the brain does get switched off to a large extent in perimenopause. We are not yet at a level where we could potentially limit the long-term, the acceleration of certain elements of aging, but it is going to change anyway. Whether we have HRT or not, this is not to prevent our physiological change, is to temper the health impact. So we live, what's the term Elsa used? It's a health span rather than a lifespan. That's what we're aiming for, a longer
Would you say
health
it's
span.
helping? Would you say in your experience that HRT would be helping to have that change, but do it more gently.
Yes, it doesn't. It's not a question of slowing it down. It's more preventing symptoms from occurring, because they have their own impact. So, when you have a hot flush, that's like a mini stroke to the brain. So every time we have a hot flush or a night sweat, that's not especially good for us. So not avoiding that symptom would be quite phenomenal, for example, or the joint pain, which means we don't move as much. So that's going to contribute to osteoporosis. And it's tempering that. Yes. And also an element of protection for long term. And no one, I have never heard anyone say, if you take HRT, you will not have any impact of menopause. No, because if you're a couch potato taking HRT, you're still
not going
to have a problem. You still need to look at your nutrition and the way you move. And that changes as well.
Yeah, no, that's a
very
You were
big
gonna say
what was I going to say though? Because my menopause brain is gone.
Hold that
It's sitting
thought.
up there. We were talking about. What were we talking
Oh, bloody
about?
planes, eh? We were talking about starting to remember about lifestyle and other things. No, it wasn't that. What were we talking about?
It might be.
You asked a question for. Maybe that wasn't that. Okay, hang on. Maybe
get
it
it.
wasn't that, but it's important, I think, to make sure we do put that message across. And potentially it might be the most important point of this podcast for today. Yes, the importance of understanding early and accepting that we're going to change and deciding for ourselves, what does that mean for me?
Yes.
Gets it.
I'm
So
not
that we're
going to
still
be the
driving the
same.
bus.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to find myself again. I'm going to find the new me for the last phase of my life, where I can say, I can do Marie Kondo decluttering with friends, with habitation, potentially with a husband, with a career, and decide what is bringing me joy.
Yeah, I think I remembered. I think in terms of businesses, because
Yes.
I talk to a lot of people who do HR, recruitment, etc., and they have these new policies coming through, changes,
Yes.
all of that. And a lot of places are panicking, saying, how are we going to implement this? Are we going to give flexible hours, as you say?
Yes.
What would your message be to them? Because I think your whole talk when we first met you
Yes.
was, we could have done with a week, to be fair, because there was so
Yes.
much, wasn't there, that we wanted to tap
Absolutely.
into. And I think so many people need to go away and think about it. So for businesses, and there's a really important point here, I think your message coming across to businesses needs to be, what do you think? What do they need to take on board?
So there's two things. There's, when you came, that event was called Menopause Wisdom for You and Your Business.
That's right, yes.
And the objective there was to educate and temper down the ethically challenging and debatable approach of selling services or products labeled menopause with very little evidence, overly priced to women because of that market booming. So one message to businesses is, please don't. If you are supporting menopausal women, peri or post, do it ethically, price it ethically, and really make sure you can have a positive impact. Stop selling me fucking menopause shampoos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the
Yes.
razors, isn't it? Paint it pink
And then
charge
it'll be-
twice
yes,
as much.
absolutely,
When it does
yes.
exactly the same as a blue one.
Exactly.
So that's one message to businesses,
good one.
especially when they're female-led. It breaks my heart and makes me extremely angry to see how many women at the moment are doing ambassador
Conned.
work.
Well, they've been conned, aren't they?
But they're also conning other women, and they
Yes,
seem to be happy with that.
absolutely.
And their understanding of menopause is highly debatable. So there's that approach. And secondly, in terms of supporting the workforce, and that's actually it's men as much as women, because a man who is sleeping with a woman who is having hot flushes every night, their relationship is impacted and their stamina is impacted, and that impacts the workplace. Prevention. So yes, it's very nice to say we're going to give you a fan, we're going to allow you to have flexible hours, and it works for many environments. You can't do that if you're a nurse.
No.
You can't do that if you're a teacher. However, you can provide menopause meetup groups, educational menopause conversations in the workplace to prevent the symptoms impacting the workplace. So well-being in terms of nutrition, well-being in terms of movement, well-being in terms of education on HRT, and the links with other conditions, because obviously if someone is diabetic or has mental health challenges or has hypothyroidism, that has an impact on their menopause journey, or cancer situations before the workforce hits perimenopause.
Yeah.
So that becomes something an organization should be doing regularly. So when I go to an organization and they say, we want a menopause policy, can you come and do a talk and we'll do a menopause policy? And I'd like to see your well-being policy. What is your well-being culture? If there isn't a well-being culture, then it's a tick in the box.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So the menopause action plans that are going to be mandatory from 2027 for large organizations over 250 employees, that will be a tick in the box if it does not include prevention. Prevention is better than cure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Happier workforce.
Happier
People that will
workforce,
work for
healthier
you. Exactly.
workforce,
Yeah.
happy to do their job, more empowered to decide on, do I want to go up? Do I want to go laterally in my career? Do I want to slow down? Because, and I don't mean slow down, adjust my working pattern because I want to do other things with my life.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you get to 60, 62, is it as important to invest in pension through working, or is it more important to have a work-life balance where you feel nurtured in what you're doing?
Yeah, you feel important in the business still because you're not invisible. Because a lot of
Yes.
people, one of the symptoms is imposter syndrome and also feeling invisible because you're older. You know, and that partly comes from how you feel about yourself, and that impacts the people
That
around
mirror,
you.
yes.
And how they talk to you. So it's all of that, and then well-being is also mental health, of course, isn't it? So
It is, yes.
yeah, it's
and
understanding.
talking reasonable adjustments, which maybe is very often early on in a menopause journey, very early in 35, 40, when perimenopause starts for most women, which we don't realize for the majority of us. What can we do there so that person does feel good about her job, so that we offer a lot of options and we support training and retraining? Organizations who say, well, no, you can only train for something that's related to today's job. Well, actually, you do want that individual to train in, maybe it does sound strange if someone wants to look at, I don't know, reflexology or something else. But that could be something that the person brings into the workplace as well. And if that person is happy with her training, then she's going to be happier staying here.
Exactly, it's pure logic, isn't it? But they're not thinking often about that. They think about, well, how can I do it the cheapest way? How
Bottom
can I do
line.
it the quickest way? How can I tick that box? You know,
It's quite industrial revolution, basically, isn't it? It's like, a toddler fell in the machine. Never mind.
well.
And when you start talking, and when you start talking industrial revolution, so we're going to rewind again. When did we start seeing the whole of the world working and living to the male circadian rhythm, which is every day is the same, 9 to 5, your testosterone level all the same? Industrial revolution, we stopped living with seasons. We stopped living with the moon cycle. And that had a huge impact on the well-being, especially of women. When do you see starting the mental health asylums? Start of the 1800s. More women living longer.
Yes.
More women impacted by peri and post-menopause because a much greater part of the population. And what do we do with them? We shove them into an asylum.
Because we can't cope with them. We don't
Because we
want to
don't
cope with them.
understand
We don't
what's
understand.
happening.
And they don't understand.
Yes, and we're
so they
looking
feel
at the
like they're
wandering
going
womb
mad.
again, and we think, well, no, actually, it's not moving. We can tell now with the science we have and medicine, the womb isn't moving, but there's definitely something wrong going on with those women.
Yeah, and it's the language you use in work as well. Hysterical woman. You know, I'm sure they don't use that anymore, but maybe they think it. It's like understanding and
A
educating
woman is
them.
aggressive, a man is assertive.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
How many
And then-
times were they confronted with that?
Yeah.
And then we can fast forward to feminism in the last century, and we touched on this morning before we started recording.
Yeah.
Women can have it all, but we can't do it all, and we shouldn't be asked to do it all.
No.
So now that we've got the potential to be able to have it all, men are still doing, on
Not
the
enough.
whole, what men do, what they've always done through from the Industrial Revolution, 9 to 5, whatever.
Yeah.
And women are doing that plus all the stuff
Yeah.
that they were doing before they
So
burnt
it's
their
like
bra.
2 or 3 jobs in one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You definitely need a good bra for that.
You do.
Bring my bra back.
Yes. And
Don't burn it.
a good bra
Reinstate
is
it.
just as much as supporting, larger chest, and also feeling good about ourselves,
Yeah.
even if you have a different type of chest.
I
It's-
know, and it also, but I think that perhaps has got a lot to do with like social media. They, and media itself is a lot of women are represented wanting to look younger, keep looking younger. Isn't it great? She doesn't
Looking
look
younger
50.
and doing it all.
I know, and all that pressure.
She doesn't look 50.
Women have got
and she
to.
gets it all done.
Yeah, I think women also have got to take it on board, maybe with all this experience and
Yes.
intellect, understanding the menopause, is actually saying, no, I'm not going to put up with that. I'm going to do the Pamela Anderson. We've talked about this, haven't we? We're going to look ourselves now. And people, the more we do, the more people go, oh, God, she looks great. Instead of
Yes.
thinking she looks a little bit like she's a bit past 60. That's beautiful. Isn't that wonderful,
Oh yes, because we're the old, the old crow. Whereas we talk about the silver fox when you look at George Clooney. Why is he a silver fox?
Yes,
Why can't I
exactly.
be a silver fox?
Vixen.
A vixen. That's it. We're entering a very different world here, darling.
Yeah.
Great.
Bringing our boobs with her.
Yes.
One at a time. No, maybe not one at a time. Why did that? Why did they do that?
I don't know, but that sounds
They're
painful.
still there.
Just checking.
But, and that's very true. Some people say, "Oh, HRT, you're doing that because you want to look younger," and no, this isn't about the way I look. Although there's an element about the way I look, because HRT is going to protect my skin and my collagen, but that's not, for me, about the way I look. It's about the way my veins are inside.
Yes.
Because that's rather important.
Yeah.
And it's about the skin in the vaginal area and the
It's
vulva area
everything, isn't it?
being nice and supple and healthy, so I don't have vaginal dryness and stop enjoying physical intercourse, because I really like that part of my life. 57, I'm not that old.
Keeping everything together.
I can still move. A little bit of a shimmy, yes.
Shimmy. But it's also...
That's a nice shimmy over there on the right.
It's like the unsupported bra. Do you notice it keeps going when I stop?
But also, if you don't take, because as not everybody takes HRT, there are other supplements and things out there. I've learnt about, like magnesium, for instance, helps sleep, doesn't it?
Yes.
And, there's different things you can take, different options. It's not necessarily all HRT.
No.
That is,
No,
out
and
there
that's a
too,
really
so.
fair point. The challenge we have yet again is, from my perspective, is finding those nutrients, minerals, through our nutrition as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because very often when we take them as supplements, and especially if we don't need them, the supplements aren't always good quality.
Yeah.
The good quality supplements without bulking agents and other bits are really expensive. Yeah. And I don't think there's enough guidance around that.
No, there
Now,
isn't.
what do I need to eat to get the 3 types of magnesium that really are going to encourage my sleep? And for some people, it's...
Oops, we get that every so often. I've forgotten that. Actually, it's not the knickers.
sorry.
This is actually like a little game that...
That I still haven't taken out.
that looks like a game from the start of the century. Yeah. Yeah.
80s.
Early century.
Yes. So that's because I'm talking about
Let's talk magnesium.
intimacy and
Magnesium.
magnesium.
Yes,
Magnesium.
let's talk magnesium.
So says, for example, magnesium. Some people will prefer to be told, to be educated on the way they cook and what they eat, so a kiwi in the evening and those kind of things. And some people will prefer to really understand, well, you're looking for the chelate type of magnesium and that type of magnesium, so you can get this type through your bath, this type through your nutrition. Everyone needs to be considered in terms of their approach to learning and be respected in the way and provided with the right tools to be able to absorb that kind of information. And yes, you're right, HRT is not a panacea and it's a choice. Although I often make that point that I'm still to see someone saying to a diabetic type 1, well, you have the choice. You can take insulin or not. It's usually
This is true.
you need to take
Don't need
insulin,
sugar.
and we would really encourage you to look at your lifestyle.
Want to live.
You know.
Yes.
Yes. And no one has a problem shoving statins down our throats.
No, that's right. I don't take statins. They asked
Yes.
me, and I said no, I don't want to. I'm going to go a different way. I'm going to
Yes.
look at it, quite naturally.
Yes.
And then I get we won't talk of this. Conversation is over, And you think you don't have an option to. If you talk about tonics, for instance, they say, well, if you want to take them, if you want to take turmeric, if you want to, it's up to you. But they don't endorse any of it because
Really?
it's not. Yeah, because it's not.
Well, the
on their
evidence-
list. Yeah.
And then, yes, is
But
it
then they don't
evidence-based?
have the knowledge about dosage
don't.
or quality or anything like that, and we're left trying to just work it out.
Find out for
what's good
ourselves.
for us.
Yeah, definitely.
And looking on YouTube and looking on...
Yeah, that's it.
So
Yes,
important. So you look
very
at certain
important.
cultures where by default the way people cook on a daily basis has a lot more anti-inflammatory types of spices.
Now,
and
why isn't this more widely known? Because I get a lot of adverts and they start by going, do you know Japanese women do not suffer from menopause?
which is bollocks. But
Which is, yeah, exactly.
Says a man.
And this is all about it. But then at the end of the day, they're not going to tell you what that's about because
I
they
know
want
you have to
sell
wait for
you
20 minutes
something.
while you're watching the video,
And
and
then
then they
they-
say press here and give us £200,
Yes.
and you'll be fine.
Yes. So why isn't this
Secure.
knowledge more widely known? The one that I absolutely hate is the man who must be 30s or 40s and he comes on, as standing next to a wardrobe and saying,
yes.
are you a woman in your 40s or 50s? I know all about you.
Who
The
says?
thing is, it's a real shame because he might actually know quite a lot.
He puts me right
It's
up.
just
I can't
short.
shout at
Is this
him.
on YouTube, did you say?
So here I am. I'm living in my camper van. Yeah. And that was phenomenal.
How long did you live in your
About a
camper
month
van?
and a half. So it was on a campsite near where I was buying a house, and I had my car, so the
Nice.
camper van was static, and it could only stay for so many weeks because you
Yeah, 28 days or something?
something like that. Yes, and you have to move out, to go away for a few days and come back.
Go
type
to a
of
car
thing.
park and then
Yes, and it was fantastic. That period of time really showed me. We were talking about it for that, how we change, and how our perspective on life change, and what we want to do changes, and that really helped
And
me.
you're spending time with yourself
Yes,
as well, which
with
is
no other
really
disruptions,
important.
because it was just me in my little camper van, and I actually love it.
Oh,
You
that
know-
sounds idyllic.
Yes,
it
'cause
really does.
Everything has to be in its place.
But you can just
and
chill when you want
yes,
to.
and I can read
and-
books, and there's no housework to do because there's no.
and drive
because-
around. Go on
Yes.
on the road. Go on the road. We went on the road. We did. We had a bit
You
of a.
did,
We
didn't you? Yes.
Just decided last minute to go and get some roller skates, as you
We
do.
need a communal camper van now, don't we?
We did, and the road rage as well. But
Well-
that's another thing.
You have an opportunity, where you live. You could have a little commune with camper vans, and I have this vision of a commune. I know what the downstairs kitchen looks like because I want the downstairs kitchen from Monet's house in Monet's garden, because his house, there are three cooking hearths in that big kitchen and a big communal table in the middle.
Oh, lovely.
And then you can have bedrooms and things and have... Well, men would be tolerated, but they can't live there. They can come and visit.
Just visitors
not
only.
They can
Stay.
visit, but not for days and days and days. They can come for a week or so, and all
bit
ages
long.
of women. Well, and maybe we have to have a limit as to how
Back in
many
your
of them
wardrobe.
are there. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But we still want a double bed because it's more comfortable. Whether it's
True,
occupied with
true.
someone else.
Yeah, you can stretch out when you're
Yes.
hot.
I don't know, what would we do if we're female couples? Because that changes the dynamic
That's
when they are
interesting. Does change
couples.
the dynamic.
It
Oh,
does.
gosh, yeah,
So
it
we would
would.
need to reflect on that as well. And that house has to have a view on the sea.
Oh, that's a given.
And that's a given because we
Yeah.
love our cold water swimming. So we need to have the sea
Yeah.
near us. And the sea is so calming.
Beautiful.
For me,
Yeah.
anyway.
Oh no, I agree. I love the
And
sea.
you know that nobody's going to build a housing estate on the sea.
That's true.
Look out.
Not yet.
Well, the sea might end up
yet.
living in your living room. But yes, no one is going to go.
That's all right. That's okay. But no, that sounds lovely. And you can see why people, when they get to I'd say, certain age.
We're trying
is
to
that
find the
people
right
want to get that balance.
Yeah.
Stage.
With.
And often I now refer to a stage rather than an age, because you see, perimenopause started for me, I
Yes.
think, early 40s. Probably actually the transformation started before.
Yeah.
And for some women, they hit postmenopause really young in life.
That's right. That's
So
true.
whether it's medically or naturally, and it's a stage as opposed to an age.
Well, it's
Yeah,
the
it
season,
is
like
a
we were
stage.
talking about.
Yes.
Lucy is the
Yes.
seasons
right.
of life.
So I think there's an element that's quite important to bear in mind when we are using a Mirena coil. It's first of all a Mirena coil. If we are using that for HRT, whether we're using it for contraception or not, it's only 4 to 5 years in terms of usage before we replace it, to make sure it does its job in protecting the womb as part of menopause. And what women often don't even know is, you know how sometimes it can be quite painful when someone does an investigation in our labia and vagina. There's 2 different sizes of what is that called? Speculum. That's it.
Spatula.
But no one ever mentions to us that we have a choice.
Yeah.
And
Is that
by
the same when you have
Smear
a smear test?
Smear test.
Yes.
It's a similar thing,
It's the
isn't
same
it?
object that is used
Okay.
to dilate, just to open the entrance of the
That's
vaginal
right.
walls. But by default, we should be asked, are you usually in discomfort? Yes, and if you're easily in discomfort, I can start by using the smaller size.
Which is harder for them.
So that you're
What
more
is that called? Because
comfortable.
that's not the speculum, is it? Should we just have a quick Google?
Yes, have a quick Google.
yes.
But I have a number of friends who have shared that had they known that, they probably would have been able to have some investigations fully performed because the pain was so atrocious with the larger size
put them off.
that they had to stop the investigation.
absolutely.
And we can request it.
Yes.
And I think it's important that we know that as part of, you know, not just the menopausal journey, but our menstrual health.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I know a lot of people don't like going for smear tests because it's very painful, and that might be because they're just not. I mean, the wombs are in different places.
And we're
have
all different,
one that's up
aren't
to
we?
the back,
So,
and they'd say,
yes.
"Put your hands
your
underneath your bum."
cervix,
Yes, and they really struggled to find it. It was a bit like the golden shot, you know, left a bit, right a bit. Oh, we've got it. Don't move, don't move. Or they'd say, "Cough, and we will know where it is." You think, well, that's
So
interesting.
yours wanders.
Mine is up
wandering
and to
a
the
little
back
bit.
and to the left, if it feels like it.
Wondering. It is a speculum.
Speculum, yes, the metal part.
The metal
cold
or
metal.
plastic.
Yes.
Duck bill.
That's it,
Yes,
duck bill thing.
yes,
Yes, that's it.
Yes, that's right.
But again, I
lovely.
wasn't even aware of that, and it's important that we do go for those smear tests, especially as they're, you know, lowering down the age as to how long we're going to have those for, to be able to detect if there are any abnormalities and catch those early.
Yeah,
So-
very much so. And if it's putting people off going for those tests and knowing that you could ask for something that's going to be less painful, it's not a bad idea.
Especially
is it?
when maybe you're doing it for the first time.
Yeah, it is quite.
Yes, and you know, saying that, you would almost expect that the first type that is used is the smallest to make sure someone is not in discomfort. But we're only women, so we're just told, just take paracetamol, you'll be fine. And it doesn't, very often it doesn't touch it really.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, it
That's
doesn't.
true. So that's really good.
And if I'm going to take drugs, I'm not sure it's paracetamol I would want to experiment with. I'm only kidding. You know.
I mean, why bother? It doesn't do much, does it? Let's face it.
Takes the edge
My
off.
personal experience is it hasn't very often helped with period pains for myself. It might help others because we're all different, as
We're
we
all
keep
different.
saying, you know, our
Hot
journeys.
water bottle.
Yes, and
you know,
massaging.
and
Massaging in
better. Yeah.
clockwise.
Me.
Yes, clockwise.
Yeah.
Especially for trapped wind. It's
And
quite
on your
Yeah,
back as
it
well,
is.
because it hurts in your back. So it's your
It does
front and your
hurt
back,
right
like-
the way
Yes,
through
and
your
having a
hips.
nice hot bath with some magnesium in there.
Yeah. There's an exciting event that you want to talk to us about because this could be really helpful to people living, especially around the Stratford area.
Warwickshire, Birmingham, Worcestershire.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's happening in Stratford. This year, World Menopause Day, which is the 18th of October, happens to be on a Saturday, which is perfect to bring a whole breadth of experts in their field to share their knowledge to talk about their specialty and how women are impacted in their menopause journey. People are impacted in their menopause journey. And we also have some really great activities. So it's happening at the Crown Plaza in Stratford, who have been a fantastic sponsor. They've donated so much, a third of the hotel for this event. We have speakers about HRT and non-hormonal treatments, about GLP-1s, and there are significant impacts on long-term health, on contraception, on HRT absorption, on muscle mass loss when people use those drugs, on vaginal health, pelvic floor, pelvic health, nutrition, lifestyle, medicine and menopause, neurodiversity. And we also have laughter yoga.
Yay.
We have a sound bath.
Brilliant.
We're looking for someone to do a bit of dancing at the start of the afternoon. Obviously, not everyone will be able to go to everything because things overlap. Okay.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we have a panel of experts to answer the questions that people will have asked during the day, as best we can, of course. And I'm delighted to say as well that we've got the local mayor, so that's Danny Hunter, who's the mayor of Stratford right now. We have the MP for Stratford, Manuela, who's coming as well midday, and Kate Rolfe, who's the chair of the council, who's going to come as well. So I think that's really showcasing how important women's health is perceived more and more. I've got a few people, dignitaries from Solihull coming as well. They've been so supportive of our work in the past few years. And more to the point, it's going to be fun. It's only £1 to come along because it's all not for profit.
Sounds like a festival.
It is a bit of a festival. If we had more music, we could call it a festival. But we still have time.
Yeah,
to get the band together.
So, if they want to know more information, they think that's a great idea. I want to tell people, my friends, people around. How do they find out more information?
Okay, so the event is called Freedom to Flourish Stratford. # FFS.
Whoa.
Okay.
Perfect.
Bravo.
Yes, we looked long and hard. Now, my name is unique, Aline Boblin. There's only one of me in the world. And Menopause Knowledge at the moment, we haven't got other organisations just with that net title. So you'll find us on social media. You're welcome to reach out. You'll have a bit of stuff on the on the
MenoQuirks
podcast.
will be there with our
Indeed.
special digestive coasters.
Yes.
Perfectly sized for champagne
yes, they're
glasses.
Your champagne.
They're
Yes, we're just
tiny,
quirky.
and you can put just a nice champagne flute on there. It will rest beautifully, whether you're going for decadent pink champagne or the traditional approach.
Well, bit
So
of
yes,
both.
you'll find us on social media, and people often look in Eventbrite, and if you put Stratford Menopause, I would be surprised if it doesn't creep up.
And also website as well.
Website is menopauseknowledge.org.
Perfect.
To come in, it's only £1, and everyone is getting the fabulous Understanding Menopause booklet from Menopause Support, another not-for-profit organisation. And we're hoping quite an exciting goodie bag. You never know. A few of them may well have little champagne coasters.
Yeah, I'm guessing more tiny borrower coasters.
Yes, I think so.
Especially for that. So
have
if
a
you
few
want
mugs.
to see a hilarious merch, Natalie will be flying her knickers
Yes.
from our stand.
And we mustn't forget the Menopause Quirks. Your menopause planner will be there as well.
We'll be there.
Which is only a £5 on Etsy.
And how to
I
exercise.
must say,
how to
it's a
get hold of
great
it.
book. It's so much to do.
A lot
Yes.
of content in there.
There is.
We were talking about that finding of yourself as part of the menopause journey. That's a fantastic tool going towards that. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you for recommending it. I mean, we've put it together because we've really tried to understand it from our perspective. And then obviously other people have come back saying it looks great, and it's visually great as well. So, it's always room for improvement. If people come back to us saying, could you include this? Could you do another one with it?
Yes.
We really want to hear about that because, of course, it's a journey that we're all, we're on, and we're all trying to help each other. And I think after seeing you as well, I think some of the terminology and the words we're going to be
Adjusting
slightly.
Yes.
Definitely. For positive language.
So yes, as many people as possible, we're aiming to fill that car park, which can take between 350 and 400 cars. And I just want Stratford Town Centre to be gridlocked by menopausal women.
That sounds
What time's the
great.
doors open?
The doors open at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And we have talks and activities until 4 p.m.
Yeah.
The panel of experts is at 3. Obviously, people can arrive throughout the day, but you'll miss out
Yeah, of
if
course.
you don't come for the whole day. And we're aiming to have some simple menu provided by the hotel itself, so we can all stay together.
That sounds
Yeah.
great. And we
And we'll
might be
probably
there
bring a
with
biscuit
our...
tin.
Yeah, we'll be there with our
please,
biscuit
or
tin
two,
and our
yes.
microphone, and we'll be getting some little snippets as well, I
And
think, of
also,
the day.
yes.
Yeah.
You see, as of yesterday, we're getting a balloon arch. And we want that specifically for your little interview, so people can take pictures of themselves and share what they thought of the day.
Oh, I like that.
And
yes, definitely.
There you
Oh,
go.
that's cool.
We're really
Brilliant.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, we are.
And as a
definitely.
final little note, because we're not working on it in isolation, the collaboration is greatly Menopause Knowledge CIC and a charity called Action Menopause Warwickshire, who are being so supportive, especially on finding guest speakers and other things like that.
That's fantastic. So really good collaboration there
Yes.
as well. Can't wait. Can't wait. Well, thank you.
Thank you
very
for
much.
having me,
so
and
much.
I look forward to coming back already.
You've been listening to the MenoQuirks podcast, brought to you by Small Talk Podcast. Stay cool. Don't forget to sparkle. Sip something pink and wear your crown because you've earned it. Catch you next time. Just a reminder, we're not doctors, and the information shared on this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Everyone's experience with menopause is different. So please speak with a qualified healthcare provider before making any medical decisions or changes to your health routine.